Maybe Lee again, if you now look at the different types of token out there, if you kind of make from a big, broad picture, we have the app tokens, the usage token, we have tokens which are pure crypto assets, and we have also tokens which give some kind of a revenue to users out of a project. So if you use those tokens as examples, can you give us some guidance where you would think, well, this is more riskier than another one?
Sure. So the revenue generating tokens are the ones that you have the most questions about. If that revenue is generated without the token holder participating on the blockchain or otherwise utilizing the token as a way to generate the revenue, then we start to have questions about whether or not it meets this investment contract definition, whether or not there's this investor interest in play. With app tokens, it can be all over the map. So some of the app tokens may generate some form of revenue, but because they require intensive participation by the token holder on the blockchain, either by posting a stake or doing work to confirm blocks, or for example, in some prediction markets, token holders will report on events to the prediction market. So that kind of work, that kind of activity on the blockchain, we generally think if you receive tokens for doing those things, you're not worried about a security. But again, as you said, you have to analyze, and as Luka said, you have to analyze each particular token. You need to really understand the token mechanic and how it's going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. Luka, if you now take the three categories we just briefly mentioned in a summary, would an analysis in Switzerland be very similar to the one in the US?
Yeah, it would be quite similar, but whatever is close to, as I said, we are more flexible with revenue tokens. We can, for us, the revenue tokens, if they are not dividends, if they are related to an IP, let's say a license fee or royalty fee, we would never, even if there would be an investor interest behind it, we would not qualify it as a security. So that's maybe a little bit the difference. You would be closer to actually, because you would say, okay, it's an investor interest behind it, so it might fall in your security qualification. That's right.
Okay, thank you. One question.
Sorry,
of course,
Andreas, let me just make one follow-up point. So you've just heard now Luka say in certain situations revenue tokens probably are not a security in Switzerland. I've said in certain situations revenue tokens probably are a security in the United States. And some of you out there are saying to yourselves, gosh, I need to be careful about which jurisdictions I'm selling my token into. So if you were saying that to yourself, that's right. You need to think about it. And that's one of the reasons that Luka and I coordinated for this event tonight. We think it's important that as you are thinking about a global token launch, a token generating event, it's important to understand the rules in a bunch of different jurisdictions, particularly those where you think you will have the most purchaser interest, and get help from lawyers to help you figure that out. And Luka and I, we both have good networks of lawyers around the world. As you probably guessed, Luka is my Swiss network. And so it's very important, though, when you're thinking about your token generating event, your TGE, that you're consulting with lawyers and you're making intelligent decisions, risk-based decisions about what you want to do.
Yes, Steve, that's a very interesting point. A lot of people, they forget when they say, okay, they focus on the token generating event, but you should never forget that you have a secondary market. So not only the generation is of relevance, but also the listing on stock exchanges, because you want to have a an active, liquid secondary market. So that's an issue which a lot of people, they just think, okay, I'm doing a token generating event out of Switzerland. It's sufficient if I do a Swiss jurisdictional check. But as you said, it's really important where you want to sell and distribute the token. You have to take this jurisdiction into account as well.